this is Alex, and I'm here at the Martin booth with my friend Fred. How you doing today, Fred?
Good, Alex. How are you?
I am fantastic, and it looks like you're having a really good time with this beautiful new guitar. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Inception?
This is our new GPCE Inception guitar. We really want to do something with domestic hardwood. So we took our GP body, used maple on the back and sides. And maple can be a little bit of a tricky wood to work with on guitar. So we really wanted to make some different changes to this instrument, do some innovative things to really kind of bring out the best of the instrument. So we did a lot of weight relieving on the braces. We did some tone channels on the inside. We'll be able to show you some of that stuff later. You'll be able to get some photos of that. We really wanted to show people what maple could do, because I don't really think it always shows the best it can when people use traditional recipes.
So can you tell us a little bit more about the bracing, because the bracing is a little bit different on this guitar?
Yeah, the bracing really is different. We went inside and we did like a honeycomb relief pattern on the inside to weight relieve it. The basic reason for doing that inside is we wanted the top to resonate a little bit more. So by lightening the braces, we were able to have the top, it takes less energy to move it at that point. So that's really what we're trying to do. Sometimes maple can be a little dry when you play it. You just get a really, really strong fundamental note, and then it decays really quick, so it gives a very compressed note. And by allowing the top to vibrate a little bit longer, we felt like the guitar just showed a little better, especially when you're working in a small body in a cutaway like this.
And what does the bracing do for the tonal quality?
If you think about the bracing in the top of the guitar, is sort of the speaker of the speaker cabinet. So the back and sides are like the cabinet, and the top of the guitar is like the speaker. So you want it to vibrate and move forward, backwards from the energy of the strings. So the bracing, whether you have it move forward or move back, how tight you have it really determines how the guitar responds.
And as far as the tonal quality, how would you describe the sound?
I would say it's a very modern sound. It's a singer-songwriter sound. It's meant to be played on stage. We have an LR Baggs pickup in this, so it's meant to be plugged in. It's not meant to be a bluegrass guitar or sound like our traditional D28s. It's a much more modern sound. We have our new Kovar strings on the instrument also, and that sort of brings some of the highs down. But we know people will experiment, try lots of different strings, and when you put different strings on the guitar, it'll bring out different tones from the instrument.
And I wanted to talk a little bit about aesthetics as far as the inlays here. I love the maple inlays. Whose idea was that, and who designed it?
Well, we have a team of people. I head up that team on the design, and our goal was to try to stay away from plastic wherever we possibly could. This has a real environmental bend. Obviously, all the woods come from North America, so we were trying to get away from some of the exotic tone woods and try to get into more North American woods. So it has a walnut bridge and a walnut fingerboard. And as you can see on the back, we went with a wedge in the back, which is also made out of walnut to try to sweeten up the tone of the guitar. Beautiful sunburst finish. We went with a satin look because we just thought it had a kind of a cool, fresh look to it, and it feels good when you play it. We're really, really happy with the way it turned out.
You guys have a bit of a new initiative right now as far as sustainability, correct, with your guitars?
Absolutely. We're prepping for the future here. It's hard to imagine a future where rosewood and mahogany and some of these exotic woods get cheaper or more plentiful. It's getting harder to get. They're getting more expensive. So the goal is to really start working with some new tone woods and show guitar players that, hey, you can have great guitars. They don't have to be made out of rosewood. They don't have to be made out of mahogany. You don't have to be the person to cut down the last rosewood tree. By playing with the recipe of our instruments, we're trying to blaze a path forward for everyone.
That's really wonderful. I was wondering if you could also just do a quick demo for us. Would you mind?
I'll do my best. It's a little loud.
Well, I think that sounded good from what I could hear. You know what? Let's try out some new guitars. There's some other ones.
Yeah, we got some more guitars to look at.
And we're back with more guitars. So tell us, which models are these?
All right, these are our new SC-18 and our new SC-28. We introduced the SC lineup in 2020, I believe it is. It has a really revolutionary neck joint that you can see on the back of the guitar that allows you to get in there and really play inside the cutaway. A lot of acoustic guitars don't allow you to do that. We first introduced this on our 13 series back in 2020, and those were laminate style guitars. And then last year we brought a custom shop version, which was very expensive, $8,000 or something like that. But it was a very limited edition. But we always knew what we were gonna do was bring it out in our traditional 18 series and our 28 series, which is a mahogany back and sides and a rosewood back and side.
I was just going to ask you, what's the difference between the 18 and the 28?
First off, on the mahogany, you're going to probably get a little bit brighter note coming out of it. It's going to feel a little bit lighter in your hands, a little more mid-range out of the instrument. Out of the 28, the rosewood's really going to give you that bass response that you're looking for, closer to that traditional Martin tone. Because of the shape and the sides and the way the guitars are made, they're made for a more modern player. Super, super easy to play.
I know you're saying that it's easy to play, but would you say that anybody could play at any skill level?
I would say it's specifically made for any skill level, absolutely. Because of the neck joint, it's really easy to adjust the action on these guitars. So if you want a really low setup or a really high setup, depending on what kind of music you want to play, you can make that adjustment on these guitars in 5 minutes. That really makes it easy.
Would you mind doing a demo for us?
This is the SC-28.
I will say it's a loud convention, and I could hear that very clearly. All right, so which one are you playing now?
This is the SC-18.
Little happy jaunty tune. We got one more guitar for you. So tell me a little bit about this. This is the X Series Refresh guitar.
We've been making X Series guitars since I think 1998. They've always sort of been a really good value guitar. They're made from high pressure laminate on the back and side, so it's not real wood in that sense, but it's super, super durable, really easy to play. And we've just felt like it was time to do a little bit of a refresh. I think some of the instruments before maybe were a little bit not as sophisticated in the way they played as we like them to be. And some of the patterns that we had on the woods on the back and sides just maybe weren't as exciting or up to date as the technology allows us to do today. So we went back into the laboratory, decided that we're going to pull out some cocobolo, we're going to pull out some Zaracote, some Brazilian rosewood, some figured mahogany, use those patterns on these guitars to make them look a little nicer. And as you can see on the back of the guitar, very, very beautiful. This happens to be the cocobolo piece.
And that is not real wood.
That is not real wood.
It's a picture of real wood, right? You guys took photos of wood in your factory?
That's exactly correct. And that's how we do it. And like I said, that's part of what makes it really super durable. We added on the SC style bridge, which is our traditional Martin belly bridge shape and size, but it's a little softer, it's more contoured. And then we really, really want to work on the playability of the instrument. So one of the key things we did is we took the fingerboard size and thickness from some of our most expensive guitars, our Authentic series, which is a thinner fingerboard, put it on this guitar. That really helped us with the playability, helped us round over the edges. Feels way more sophisticated, much softer, much easier to play. I think it's just a much better playing experience.
Well, speaking of playing, do you have a few more riffs left in you?
We'll see. I'm not so sure. I mean, crank out some AC/DC or something. No, we don't want to get charged.
We can't because of licensing, so make it license free.
License free, you got it.
So Fred, one last question. When can we expect to see all of these guitars at Guitar Center?
I think some of these guitars will be rolling in now and over the next 3 to 4 weeks.
All right, well, Fred, thank you so much for talking to us today. Fred from Martin. And if you want to learn more about Martin guitars and their brand new line, just make sure to go to guitarcenter.com or visit our YouTube channel.